So at this time, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Associate Degree Nursing Class of 2020's award ceremony and present the Class of 2020 graduating class. I'll ask Ms. Raz Cook to start us with the invocation.
Please join me in reflection on the prayer of St. Francis. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we pardon, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Amen.
Our first speaker today is going to be Dr. Helen Reid, the Provost of the Health Science Center.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry, I got to put my glasses on to be able to read this. So my name is Helen Reid. I'm the Provost of the Health Occupations Division at Trinity Valley Community College, in case we have any family on this momentous occasion for this award ceremony. But I'd like to take this opportunity to wish everyone a happy Nurses Week. The celebration this year will culminate tomorrow on what would have been Florence Nightingale's 200th birthday. This is also a special year as the World Health Organization designated 2020 to be the year of the nurse and the midwife. Little did they know that nursing would be front and center of a global pandemic that has had a profound effect on all of us as we've worked together to meet the challenge of finishing the job of preparing our graduates for the nursing workforce. You have done it. So I applaud the faculty and students for the intense effort that it took to transition to the virtual teaching learning platform with little notice. I had no doubt that it would not get done in an admirable fashion, as nurses are especially resilient and adaptable, always working to solve problems in healthcare. I applaud you graduates for how you dealt with all of the obstacles you faced in these last few months. Sheltering in place, social distancing, homeschooling, some facing furloughs, others working extra on the front lines, and self-quarantining. Missing out on cherished commencement traditions is heartbreaking for all students, but especially for those who had to face so many hurdles, or those of you who are the first person in your family to graduate from college. Nothing, not even a pandemic, should take away from that accomplishment. We're so proud of all of you. Throughout this program, you've learned the science of nursing, the signs and symptoms to assess for, the interventions to prioritize, the interrelated concepts to address, and the skills to perform. But you are the ones who brought the art of nursing to life. And as we celebrate Nurses Week, it is fitting that we remember what Florence Nightingale said. Nursing is an art, and if it is to be made an art, it requires as exclusive a devotion, as hard a preparation as any painter or sculptor's work. For what is the having to do with dead canvas or cold marble compared with having to do with the living body, the temple of God's Spirit? It is one of the fine arts. I had almost said the finest of the fine arts. Another quote that I like is, "Science and technology are the palette, and paint is the profession. Nurses are the artist of healing." I wish for each of you that you always enjoy what you do and that the nursing care you give brings you great satisfaction. It's also been said that nursing is the oldest of the arts but the youngest of the professions. And I challenge you to work to strengthen the profession of nursing. Get involved and stay involved at whatever level you can, but don't just treat nursing as a job and do your work and go home. Adelaide Netting said, "We need to realize and to affirm anew that nursing is one of the most difficult of arts. Compassion may be the motive, but knowledge is our only working power." So I challenge you to use that knowledge wisely. Finishing the program requirements and earning your Associate of Applied Science degree represent the attainment of one of your goals, the fulfillment of a dream, and then the meeting of a challenge, which is the future of nursing. The future hasn't been decided yet. The future is not what it used to be, and this is now true now more than ever. We don't even know what next week will bring, but it's up to you to shape the future of nursing, or it's going to be decided for you. So I do want to personally congratulate the ADN class of 2020. And as you progress in your nursing career, remember that we're proud to be able to recognize you as a TVCC graduate and a peer in nursing. We know that you'll make a difference in your patients' lives. So congratulations to the 36th graduating class of TVCC's ADN program, the class of 2020, the first graduating class from the Terrell Health Science Center, even though you only have to use it for a short time. I did want to say something about when you come and collect all of the things that you're going to be coming to collect, like the composite picture and the nursing pin and the PTK stole and the Gideon Bible, all of those things that we would normally give you at either the pinning and graduation or at the award ceremony. But another one that we give you is a little Buckeye. So the history of the Buckeyes is that Mary Hardy, who was the founding dean of the nursing program, started this tradition in 1984 with the first nursing class because she came from Ohio. So a Buckeye is supposed to bring good luck. Back then, I think you could take that with you when you went to NCLEX. I don't think you can anymore, but anyway, it should hopefully will give you good luck on NCLEX. But over the years and after she left, and we had some contacts in Ohio, we were able to get some. And then I can't remember what year it was that several of the faculty and I went to a convention in Pittsburgh, and we took a side trip over to Ohio, and we asked around where there was a Buckeye tree. So we found one with it was the home of these lovely Amish couple, and they were in their 90s. And so it was kind of past the season for it, but we got a few, and I got their contact information, and I've been sending them and now their children. Every year I send them money for postage, and they send me a box of Buckeyes. So they come straight from Ohio for you, and it will be. So we'll have that available when you come and pick your stuff up. So thank you and congratulations to everybody.
Okay, our next speaker is Dr. Jerry King, President of Trinity Valley Community College.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. It is my pleasure as the president of the college to be able to congratulate you and to welcome you to the 2020 Associate Degree Nursing Award Ceremony. Again, my name is Jerry King, and I'm the president of the college. Since I am not going to be able to see you and speak to you at a commencement ceremony, I want to say a few words to all of your graduates, as well as those receiving awards today. We do plan on having a commencement ceremony. We're just not exactly sure when yet. And we're going to leave that up to Dr. Reid and her staff to give me some guidance, and hopefully we can do that in June, maybe, or maybe a little bit later on. But we are going to have a commencement ceremony. We're going to have an opportunity for you to walk across the stage. Just not exactly sure when that's going to happen. First, let me express appreciation to the families and the friends. I'm not sure if we have any with us today, but we normally do. Because without their support and without their direction and without their guidance and their assistance, there's a very good chance that many of our graduates would not be here today receiving awards and graduating. So let me say thank you, and I'm sure that if we were together, that each one of you would also be saying thank you to your families and to your friends for all that they've done to you and all the support that they've given you during this challenging time and challenging endeavor that you've had. Next, also let me express appreciation to the faculty and the staff and the administration at Trinity Valley Community College. They are truly the best of the best. I'm sure that you have found that out over the last 2 years or however long it's been that you've been at Trinity Valley Community College. Our faculty are dedicated, they're personally committed, and they're devoted to the students that we have at our college. Moving into this beautiful new facility that you've been able to at least partially take advantage of over this last year has been a challenging and stressful time for our faculty. but they've dealt with it, and they've dealt with it in a positive and professional way. Also dealing with the coronavirus and finding different alternative methods of instruction has been very challenging and very stressful, but they've also dealt with it. Our faculty have done the best job that they possibly could do, and I'm very proud of them, proud of what they've done, and I think you should be as well as a student. They are dedicated to providing an opportunity to change the lives of our students, and that's exactly what they've done with you, each one of you, as you are graduating this week. I appreciate all that the faculty and staff have done, and I know that you do as well. Let me, last but not least, express congratulations to the award winners and also to our graduates. You have overcome many trials and tribulations and sacrifice. And yes, you have had anxiety and stress over the last 2 years, and especially over the last 7 or 8 weeks that we've gone through this trying times and very challenging times of the coronavirus. It's been a disruption, but I don't believe that you've let it disrupt you from learning and doing what you needed to do to be successful in your future endeavor as a nurse and in the health field. And it wasn't, you've earned the right to be here. You've earned the right to graduate. This is your opportunity, and this is you have done this on your own. Don't let anybody take that away from you. You've been challenged, and you worked hard, and you've done what needed to be done to get to where you are. Our society today needs people just like you, more so than ever. We need trained nurses. We need healthcare professionals. We need those. We need people just like what you're going to be providing for us very quickly after your graduation. We know that you are ready for this. We know that you are ready for whatever challenge that may come ahead for you. We know that whatever the future may hold, that you're ready for it. You've been prepared for it, and you're going to be moving on. I do look forward at some point in time, as I mentioned earlier, to a graduation ceremony where I can see you face to face. At the end of the year, I know for me, as well as all of our faculty and staff, that's the highlight of my year, is to be able to see you, shake your hand, and say congratulations to each one of you. And I'm going to miss that until it happens, and I'm hoping that comes very quickly. But again, I just want to say I'm very proud of you as a graduate. I'm very proud of our faculty and our staff and what they've done for you over the last 7 or 8 weeks especially, and over the last 2 years that you've been enrolled at Trinity Valley Community College. Again, let me say congratulations to each one of you, and good luck to you in whatever your future endeavors may be. Thank you.
Next, we have the Associate Degree Nursing Faculty Representative. And my name is Jason Smith, and I'm the Associate Vice Provost of the Health Sciences, as well as the sophomore team leader. So I would like to run down a little bit of what you went throughout your nursing program. And it starts in your freshman year. So level 1, you started the program not knowing really what to expect. In the classroom, you started this new process called concepts in the flipped classroom. You were put into skills labs. You were told to wash your hands. You thought you knew how to wash your hands, but you found out you really didn't know how to wash your hands. You covered many, many skills very quickly, making beds, walking each other, doing assessments, giving medicines. You took many tests. You learned that you really didn't know how to take a test, although you thought you knew how to take a test, and that testing was so different in nursing school. Then before you knew it, you were in your white uniform in the clinical setting. You found out what a concept care map was and that they're not that easy to complete. Simulation was a shock as you went in and the mannequins blinked at you and talked to you. You progressed on to level 2 and you found the content as well as the tests were progressing in their difficulty. Your clinicals, they took you to the hospital and you were excited to start clinical rotations where you could put your nursing knowledge to use. During these first 2 years, you were earning the S portion of your title, student. And you have to learn how to be a nursing student before you can progress on to the advanced portions of the program. So then came level 3 and enters Mr. Smith. And many of you asked, who is this guy? He just all of a sudden appeared. And during that time, we took a lot more tests. You attended 10-hour hospital clinicals. You went to the schools. You helped the school nurse. You were taught by the instructor who had all of their teaching materials that was packed up in boxes, and they were ready to move to the new Health Science Center. And then we slowly trickled into the new building, and you found out that your simulator didn't just blink and talk, but now it had a baby. Level 4, you entered into the semester having to adapt right away. We were spread out all over the building the first day. One day we were in the main room, and then the next day we couldn't use the main room. We were spread to the ends of the earth for clinical rotations. Spring break, it came and went, and then spring break came and went again. The whole world changed at this point, and you were introduced to the world of Zoom and how to do classes and clinicals and simulations doing Zoom. And you learned that clinical can be done using a computer, and it really wasn't as fun as you thought it would be, or easy as you thought it would be. You tested at home, and we put you through several different testing methods. You stood in lines. You stood in lines in your masks and gloves waiting to be admitted into the building. So your class is going to be a very, very special class, and you have a lot of bragging rights as a class. So you will be the very first class to graduate from the new Terrell Health Science Center, but you have never walked through the front door. You will be the class that helped us move into the new Health Science Center. You really left your education in the ever-changing world during a pandemic. And you will be able to say, when I started in nursing school, we didn't have to wear a mask around every patient. During this time of your 3rd and 4th semester, you were earning your N, nurse. And I can proudly say that today, each of you have earned your title of nurse. And that is a title that's earned and not given. But now the challenge is up to you. Now that you've earned the N, nurse, pending the Board of Nursing issuing your work permit, you have now earned the G, graduate, and you are a graduate nurse. Now the next step is up to you. You will sit the NCLEX, you'll receive your license, and you're going to exchange your G, graduate, for an R and become a registered nurse. At this time, I would like to, the next speaker is going to be the SNA president, Miss Kaitlyn Coleman.
Good morning. My name is Kaitlyn Coleman. I am the SNA president. All right, let's do this. Okay. To the graduating class of 2020, the craziness is finally over. We did it. After all the long hours and days, birthdays, holidays that we've missed out on while committing our lives over the past 2 years, and for some, including myself, 3 years. It has finally paid off, and we all deserve to give ourselves a pat on the back and a cheers to us, because our time in school is finally over, and now the real party gets to begin. During this program, we have stopped our lives to learn to save others. Oh, and not to mention cramming in the Starbucks like an hour before each exam, because we all have test anxiety and we still think we're going to fail, even after spending countless hours with our face in textbooks, reading the PowerPoints, and doing the dreaded and endless number of EAQs. And we still somehow pulled off the miracle of surviving nursing school. When I first started this program in 2017, I felt so lost. With all the care maps, papers, and clinical days, oh yes, and exams and lectures, with us all packed in like sardines, I felt so overwhelmed. And when I didn't make it to level 3 the first time, I felt so defeated, and I just wanted to give up. but the support system I have kept me pushing. My family and those little bonus babies helped me keep my eye on my goal. And then last semester, when Mrs. Cook asked me my why, in that moment, it really hit home for me. Truly asking myself, why? Why did I want to be a nurse? Why do I want to risk my life every single day just to save another? And that was the driving force that pushed me to the finish line. And it wasn't to please my parents or that I just wanted a steady job or even for a piece of paper that said, hey, look, everyone, I went to college. But like all that hard work that I had been doing to get to this point finally had a purpose. And knowing that I was on the path to truly helping this world and try to make it a better place by helping the sick and injured people get better. So now it's your turn to ask yourself that question. Ask yourself why. What is it about nursing that keeps you coming back day after day, test after test? You have to reach down in the bottom of your soul and find that truth. Find out that why and use it to fuel your fire. Our class has been through hell and back this year. I mean, come on, y'all. We're going through this race in the middle of a global pandemic. How utterly scary, yet so exciting is that? Through all the trials that we had to face this semester has really helped us to adapt and think in new ways on healthcare. And this has helped us to shape our future as nurses. Yeah, missing out on our clinicals is not my favorite thing, but we're still going to be amazing nurses. And we are truly blessed to have such a tightly knitted group that came together in such times of uncertainty and stress. We've pulled through, y'all. And just think about our amazing staff. In such short notice and uncharted waters, they got us into gear and adapted to help us succeed. They are an amazing force that needs to be recognized. And we wouldn't be where we are today without them. And I cannot thank them enough for being so patient with us. Through all of our anxiety and all of our stress, they got us right where we needed to be. So again, class of 2020, congrats, we did it.
All right, at this time, there are some awards that the faculty would like to give out, and these awards were voted on by the faculty and the staff here at TVCC. So the first award that we would like to give out would be the student with the most positive attitude, and this award goes to Mrs. Raven Shipley. Our next award is for the most professional nursing student. And this award would go to Mr. Chidzero Nakumba. Our next award is the student that is most likely to become a Trinity Valley Community College ADN instructor. And we would like to award this to Miss Amanda Angel. Our next award goes to the student who is most compassionate and most caring. And this award goes to Miss Lisa Toomey. Our next award is the Mary Harding Academic Excellence Award. And this award is decided on the student that has the highest GPA for the 60 hours that is obtained in the associate nursing degree ADN program here. And this award goes to Mrs. Paige Johnson. So our next award is the Clara Barton Award. Clara Barton is one of the nursing histories. She's part of nursing history, and she founded the American Red Cross in 1881. And we grant this award to a graduating student from the ADN program on their outstanding participation in the Service Learning Project. The student that is receiving this award went to the Kaufman County Children's Shelter. He worked closely with children who were placed in the county shelter for various reasons. And the student had a profound experience during his rotations as he assisted the children in caring in this loving environment that were in need of help. He feels that the project was rewarding, and he would not have done anything differently had he had to do the project again. And this award goes to Mr. Michael Hughes. So Ms. Carrie Weibel is going to introduce the Florence Nightingale Award.
Hello, everyone. Welcome this morning. The Florence Nightingale Award goes to the graduate who the faculty and staff would most want to take care of them or their loved ones. So you all know who Florence Nightingale was. She's the most famous nurse, and she's best known for her time in the Crimean War, from which she used her statistics to revolutionize military hospitals. So I wanted to kind of put your last 2 years, graduates of nursing school, and everyone, what we've endured over the past 7 weeks. I wanted to put all of that into perspective by telling you about what Florence did while she was at the Barrack Hospital in Scutari, Turkey. When she arrived, she found 4,000 wounded soldiers packed into a 1,700-bed hospital, an open sewer that ran underneath the building, which attracted rats and vermin. No water, no soap, no towels, no food services, no forks, no knives, and food that was not edible. Men laying practically naked in ragged uniforms with clotted blood, and a death rate of 42.7%. Against great resistance from military authorities, doctors, and even her own nurses, she transformed a place of horror into a haven where patients could truly convalesce. She set up 5 diet kitchens, a laundry, canteens, reading rooms, and organized classes. In the evening, after the other nurses had retired, she made solitary rounds with her famous lamp to check on the condition of the sickest patients. The greatest measure of Miss Nightingale's success was the overall drop in mortality rate from 42.7% to 2.2%. And she accomplished this astounding goal within 6 months of her arrival. It is my honor to present the Florence Nightingale Award to Michelle Franks. The last time I spoke with her, she was leaning toward a career in neuro ICU. I don't know if this is still her plan, but I do know if I woke up in a neuro ICU, her face is the one I would want to see. I look forward to hearing about the differences in nursing she will undoubtedly make during her career. Congratulations, Michelle.
Next, we wanted to talk a little bit about the nursing pin. And normally you would receive your nursing pin at the pinning ceremony on graduation, but due to the pandemic, we are unable to do the pinning ceremony and would like to include the portion of the pinning ceremony in this awards presentation. So the modern tradition of nursing pins began with Florence Nightingale. Miss Nightingale was educated and trained 37 nurses at the Nightingale School of Nurses at St. Thomas to go with her to the battlefields of the Crimean War. In 1854, Miss Nightingale was awarded the Red Cross of St. George by the British government for her selflessness service to the injured and the dying. The first American nursing pin was awarded in 1880 at the Bellevue Hospital of Nursing in New York City. By 1916, it was a common practice for schools to pin new graduates with a pin that was designed to be unique and specific to their school of nursing. The pin presented to each graduate is both beautiful and symbolic. A nursing pin represents not only the school that the nurse graduates from, but a commitment to caring and compassion represented by our profession. The pin is a symbolic medal which honors the nurse who wears it and the school from which the nurse graduates. It's a badge representing the compassion and caring for the public, which entrusts us with their health and their life. Nurses care for all people of all ages, race, illnesses, nationalities, and belief systems. Now, a little bit about the Trinity Valley Community College ADN pin. The TVCC graduate nursing pin, it has leaves on the outer border. And these leaves symbolize the current growth and the future knowledge and skills of the graduate nurse. The words Trinity Valley Community College are encased in red to symbolize the strengths that were obtained by the graduate nurse. The initials ADN, encased in white, represent safety, purity, and the cleanliness of the graduate nurse. The caduceus in the center of the pin is representative of nursing, military badges, and the role of the graduate nurse as a collaborative part of medicine. So, receiving your pin is more than an event marking the end of long hours of study and examinations. It's a rite of passage into the profession. So remember, when you walk the stage and receive your degree, many people will receive a degree from college, but not everybody will receive a nursing pin. We hope that you will always wear your TVCC ADN pin with pride of your school and honor in the profession. So next, we would like for you to unmute.
No, not quite yet. First, we're going to recognize each of the students. And
Okay.
when you come to graduation, you would see students wearing yellow cords if your GPA, cumulative GPA is 3.5 or higher. So that's what the yellow cords mean. You might see some with red, white, and blue cords, and those are the members of our military. So I would like to, I don't know if we have any military in our, I think we probably do in our student membership of the graduate class. So at this point, I would like to show appreciation for those students for their service. So thank you very much for that. I got a typo there. Phi Theta Kappa members wear the yellow stole and then the red tassel. And then the Alpha Delta Nu is the Nursing Honor Society. Those members are going to be inducted tonight, and they would wear an apricot cord. Apricot is the color for nursing, in terms of that's the nursing. And then the student nurses leaders will wear a purple, teal, and gold cord.
So if all the nurses present here today will unmute and read with me the Florence Nightingale Pledge of 1935. I solemnly pledge myself before God and in the presence of this assembly to pass my life in purity and to practice my profession faithfully. I will abstain from whatever is
From whatever
knowingly administer
any form of drug.
my
And I will
defend
defend it
and elevate
power
hold it
and competence of my holding confidence
family affairs,
personal
and
and
all
family affairs according to my knowledge and the practice of my calling. All family affairs coming to my knowledge.
dedicate myself to service to human welfare.
Service to human welfare. Of health. Dedicate myself to devoted service to human welfare.
I will dedicate myself to devoted service to human welfare.
That was interesting.
Yes, it went much more differently than we expected.
We'll never have another one like that again, hopefully. Then we have one more. We are going to be, we are recording this, and we'll figure out how to get it posted to either our Facebook page, the alumni page, or the SNA page, or Trinity Valley YouTube. We'll figure that out and let you know. So we have one more thing before we finish.
Oh, this is where we started.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, there she is. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
That's our favorite thing to say. I'm just saying.
Can you please mute? Let's start that over again. Sorry. Everybody please mute.
So this concludes the award ceremony for the graduating class of 2020 Associate Degree Nursing Program at Trinity Valley Community College. Again, we're recording this and we'll try to find a way to get this recording out to you guys so your family can see it. Thank you.
Congratulations, everyone. You rock. You're awesome.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, everybody.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. So proud of y'all.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
So good to see you all.
I miss y'all.
So proud of you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, y'all. Good luck.
Thank you.
Is it Russian?